Welcome to Study Abroad, Smart and Simple, brought to you by ApplyWave.com.
Welcome, students and educators, to this podcast brought to you by ApplyWave.com. Today, we are bringing you an update on the F1 visa situation. We are welcoming Lisa, Mackenzie, and a special guest. But before the special guest, Mackenzie, what's going on in the U.S. with the F1 visa?
Well, thankfully, we have some good news finally. The last couple of weeks, we've been updating everyone about the changes with the F1 student visa and how, international students were being limited, either being, the visas being denied or them being sent away if their school was going to offer fully online learning this fall. Thankfully, though, thanks to, different lawsuits filed by Harvard, MIT, people speaking out, organizations getting involved, that ruling has been reversed. Okay, so what that means is if you are in the U.S., currently studying at an institution, if your school decides to go fully online because of COVID-19, you will still be able to remain in the U.S., which is excellent. We are still waiting on some, more details about this policy and if there are going to be any adjustments for new international students coming. But for now, as it stands, if you're an international student currently in the U.S. and if your school goes fully online, you are safe, you are okay, and you will be able to stay in the U.S. So it's
Congratulations. Congratulations. It's all good news. Finally, some good news coming out of the United States. And congratulations to all the educators out there who banded together and took down that crazy policy that shocked the world. So that's
people
great.
Really spoke out about this a lot. A lot of people got very involved. So many schools are speaking out about it. I've been talking to a lot of colleagues and partners, and we really did band together on this to speak out and say, we do not support this. We didn't want international students to feel like they were left alone in this. So we all wanted to speak out and show our support for international students. And like I said, speaking out against this policy, that was just cruel to international students. So we're very happy.
It was, and it was well done. Well done by everybody involved. And I know, Mackenzie, you were headlining that a lot last week as well. And ApplyWave.com was very aggressive in trying to get that stopped. So congratulations to everybody. Now, today we have a special guest joining us, Samuel Padilla. I know I'm saying that wrong, Samuel. He's going to correct us. He's from Colombia. He grew up in Brazil, and he is a current international student in Iowa, but he helps international students in a number of ways, such as finding a job through an organization called Stephen Mentor. Now, Samuel, welcome to the podcast. Tell us a little bit about Stephen Mentor.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, James, Mackenzie, and Lisa. It's a pleasure to be here. Really excited to be finally having the chance to meet you guys and get the chance to chat with you guys. Stephen Mentor is an organization that, as you said, helps international students in the United States. We help them adapt and assimilate to the American culture and the American reality. And we also help them develop the skills they need to be able to find a job once they are approaching graduation. Stephen Mentor came to be as a consequence of my personal journey, my personal story. I am old school international student. And when I say old school, doing air quotes, if you can't see it in the moment, if you're just listening to the audio. And when I say old school, I mean, I came to the US before this kind of what I perceive to be revolution on empowering of application process for soon to be international students. So basically, when I was coming to the US, the structure that now exists to be able to guide incoming international students in the application process didn't exist. So when the traditional path with agencies, an agency that basically just found a college for me, and they threw me in Iowa, and here I am now. In opposition to what you guys are doing with ApplyWave.com, and I had the chance to go through it, and that's why I admire it so much, that you guys actually empower the international student. You actually give them the knowledge and the choices that he needs to be able to make in order to find the school or the college or the university that best fits him. So I admire that a lot. I didn't have that for me. So I ended up in a college in the middle of nowhere without any preparation whatsoever. So I found myself here in the middle of Iowa. I came in the winter in Iowa, and I didn't even have a winter jacket. That is how unprepared I was when I first came to the United States. So based on that personal experience, we decided to create this company to guide international students through the process of adaptation, and also guide them through the process of professional development and assimilation to the American professional market, and helping them assimilate to the culture and later on find jobs in the United States.
So what are some of the things that you do to help students? Obviously, finding a job might be one thing, such as resume preparation or things, but what other things do you do to help international students in America?
Yeah, so in concrete terms, we sell programs. We offer programs to our students, and even to colleges. We partner with colleges as well to offer these programs for their communities. We have two main programs so far. One is our adaptation program, where over the course of one semester, we work with the students and walk them through the process of adaptation and even preparation to come to the U.S. So once they're actually admitted to the U.S., we help them prepare the things they need to do, get ready, get in the mindset. We help them with the packing process, and we also help them with the simulation process once they're here. That is one of the programs that we worked with in the past. And the other program that we worked with in the past is our job preparation program. Usually, it is ideal for people who are entering their last year of their master's studies or even their undergrad studies to start developing some of the skills and the branding and the LinkedIn profile and kind of the professional preparation that they need to be able to actually find that job. We help them with networking advice and so on. That's what we have been doing up until this point, and kind of the next steps that we want to take with this company. We want to start developing software, an actual web application to be able to help international students close the skill gap that they have to be able to develop the skills that they need to land a job in the US. So say you're an international student and you want to be working as a software engineer at Google in a year from now. Our software will basically assess the skills that you have, your soft skills that you have right now, and basically give you a step-by-step of the things you need to do in the time frame that you specified to be able to land the job that you said you wanted. So that is kind of the...
Yeah, what do you think, Samuel, is the biggest issue in terms of adaptation that you talk about for international students when they go to America?
I would say when it comes to the specific topic of adaptation, I think the biggest mistake or issue that international students make is the same within their bubbles of international students and the same within their circles of the same nationality or the same kind of community. And they are so much within the circle that they start basically being just exposed to a lot of negativity because everyone is struggling to adapt. So if someone starts complaining, the whole circle starts complaining. So that is a big issue. And also you're not really exposed to the culture in the United States. If you're only with international students speaking your own language the whole time, you're not truly being exposed to the United States, to the culture, to the system, and to the customs of the country. So that's the biggest mistake that we have identified over our years working in this space for sure.
And is there a cost for your services with Stephen Mentor? And how do you get information on Stephen Mentor? Yeah,
so you can find all the information in the work that we do on our website. It's just stephenmentor.com. Stephen as in the name, Stephen with V, not PH, stephenmentor.com. And you can go to our website, find all the information. And if you want to also reach us on Instagram, you can just look us up at Stephen.mentor. Stephen.mentor, same, Stephen with V. Yeah, that's the easiest way to find us.
And is there any cost for your service?
Yes. So the programs that we have right now, the programs that we have for the adaptation program and the job preparation programs, those are paid programs for our students. And also we do paid partnerships with our universities. Moving forward for the software that we're trying to build, we're going to have a side of the software, or kind of an aspect, some features of the software that are going to be free for the public to use, and some features are going to be paid, and kind of some extra on top of the basic features that we offer to the public.
Okay, we'll bring in Mackenzie and Lisa here. I think I've asked enough of those questions. Mackenzie, go ahead, and then Lisa next.
Sure. I wanted to kind of jump in here to address the cost aspect of this kind of service. And for all the international students listening, I want them to understand that this is something that is so valuable to them. I mean, just having that adaptation process, I think would really help students to get adjusted to being in the US, learn kind of some of the social norms, learn what's expected of them, learning what they can expect as well. And just to give kind of a frame of reference, there are some programs in some universities that have this kind of program as an obligation, and it can be super, super, super expensive. It's called a pathway program. And at universities, that can be thousands and thousands of dollars. And a lot of times that's a program that's set up by the institution. So I think the value in what Student Mentor is doing is the fact that this program was designed by international students. So they really know what you need to do in order to be successful. And then in addition to that, I think it's just such an inspiration to have Sam part of the podcast today. Again, for all of our international student listeners, these are the kind of things that you can do when you're on campus. You can really impact the society and you can really make changes. And I think this goes to show if there's a lack of something you're interested in on the campus you go to, you can create it yourself. You have the power to do this. And that's what I think is so cool about Student Mentor. It really empowers international students.
Okay.
Lisa, I know you had a question for Sam.
Yes. So first of all, thank you, Samuel, for presenting that. That's so inspiring. And I really, really like the concept, because I was also going to say the same thing Mackenzie said. It is super important to have the connections also to find a job after your studies. You can be super lost, and you can definitely make a good use out of those connections that you can form with Student Mentors. And what I was going to ask you today, Samuel, is since you're currently studying in the US, what was your first reaction when you heard about those visa regulations that they published? Like, were you scared? Did you have worries about your own studies there for a second?
Yeah, so of course, anytime that you see any policy coming out for international students, the first reaction is just, oh my gosh, is this going to affect me? Like, what is going on? First thing that I did as soon as I saw this on kind of in the industry, I went to read the actual official release from ICE. I went through it and analyzed it. We talked about it with the team. We kind of understood what was actually going on. And from there, the first thing that we did was try to talk to our students and calm them down and say, hey, this is what's actually going on. International students who have classes fully online are not going to be able to return. They're going to have to leave the country. And of course, we were scared. But the first thing that we did was understand the situation and communicate to our students directly what was actually going on. After that, the next reaction that we had was, okay, what can we do about it? And this is something that we, in the past few months since coronavirus started to happen, we became really active on, which is advocacy and support for international students. One of the things that we did amidst the COVID-19 peak, when everything was starting here in the US, was a lot of international students were crazy deciding if they were going to go back home or stay in the US. We created this initiative called Adopt an International Student to support international students during this pandemic. It was basically, we were donating money to those international students. We were matching them with people in the US who will be able to give emotional support or financial support during the crisis. And we ended up supporting over 60 international students during that crisis. And after that, we realized that whether we want it or not, just by being in the space of international students, we end up just getting involved with advocacy and support and helping the cause overall, not necessarily just the business-oriented aspect, but also kind of the cause and the community. And as soon as this new regulation came out, the first reaction again was, okay, how can we support the community? So we started promoting videos, we started posting, we started promoting some of the petitions, and we just kept the community updated. We tried to show everybody that followed us, everybody who knew about us, what they could do, whether or not they're international students or not, what they could be doing to actually support the cause and help fight this unfair policy that successfully was scaled back. And yeah, happy to see that it was a positive outcome. But yeah, it was overall just what can we do to support the community.
And how is
amazing.
How is the COVID-19 in Iowa? We hear about Miami and California and all of these horror stories. How is it in Iowa?
Iowa has had the advantage of having a smaller population this whole time, so it hasn't hit as hard, but it isn't great, for sure. It isn't great, but Iowa never went into a full lockdown or anything like that. Some businesses are reopening now. But overall, in more urban areas like Des Moines, even Sioux City to a certain degree, it's a little worse than more rural aspects of the state. But overall, it hasn't been awful, but it hasn't been good either. It's like a manageable level, and everyone needs to be doing their part and managing the risk that they expose themselves to and that they expose other people to.
And will your college be going online, or will it have in-person sessions come September?
My college is adopting a hybrid model. So some of the classes are going to be face-to-face and some of the classes are going to be online.
Okay, that sounds great. All right. So, and the pronunciation of your name, Samuel?
Yes, the pronunciation of my name, Samuel Padilla. That's the Spanish
there you
pronunciation.
Go.
Yeah, but I usually go just by Sam Padilla. That works for me too. But the Spanish pronunciation is Samuel Padilla. Yeah.
Thank you, Samuel.
That's one of the things that we suffer with in the United States. People who don't speak Spanish don't know how to pronounce the double L. Like you'll say tortilla, quesadilla.
Yeah. But I grew up used to it though, because growing up in Brazil, the LL, or usually my last name is common in Brazil, but it's instead of LL, it is spelled with LH. And LH in Portuguese sounds like LI. So people would say Padilha in Portuguese, but Padilha. So I grew up getting used to having my last name pronounced wrong. So I honestly, I don't care. So
well, you need an easier name. Even though my name is easy, sometimes I still have problems. People don't understand James Rice. They have trouble with that. So they check it twice. Anyways, thank you very much, Samuel. And it's StephenMentor.com for more information. And you can visit there. And a great service, as Lisa and Mackenzie pointed out, a fantastic service for international students in the United States. And thank you so much, Samuel, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for the invite, guys. It's been a huge pleasure to be here. I admire the work that you guys are doing a lot. And it's all about empowering the student and having the student know what's coming for them and kind of how to prepare for their own future. So much admiration for the work that you guys are doing and hope to have more chances of collaborating soon in the future.
Thanks, Sam.
All right. And thank you, Mackenzie and Lisa. It's always a pleasure. And don't forget to tune in every Friday for Study Abroad Tips brought to you by ApplyWave.com.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit ApplyWave.com. Study abroad, smart and simple with ApplyWave.